Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to discuss a topic that's really hard to discuss, so bear with me. Reading stories from ladies in professional wrestling, hearing that they were treated badly, being treated disrespectfully, and misconduct by certain guys who deserve to be thrown out, forgotten, and never to be seen again. Now, I don't understand. Women's pro wrestling revolution was supposed to change all that. Promotions who book matches, promoters who book matches for ladies to be out there and doing their passion and their love for what they love, which is pro wrestling. Much like myself, I love pro wrestling. I love each and every person out there in pro wrestling, and it's sickening and it's sad and it's disgusting. You know, if I was trained, and yes, I'm going to be quite honest, if I was trained and let's say I wrestled a lady, I'd be a little bit nervous. I want to make sure that I respectfully do everything right, not everything wrong. Now, there's been times where people say, well, women shouldn't wrestle men, period, because, all us men have a down below. Well, yeah, it's hard to hide that sometimes. Especially when you're up against somebody. Even though I'd wear a cup and anything else, to prevent that from happening. Like I said, what I'm hearing when ladies have come forward and he even told promoters about a certain person and that promoter didn't take it seriously, like, oh, it's okay. He's been on with this company for a long time. It doesn't excuse the fact. If I was married and had kids, and let's say my daughter is inspired by one of the most awesome ladies in professional wrestling and wants to do it, if she came to me and told me that some guy was harassing her and messing with her, I wouldn't only go to the promotion. I'd go to the promotion and tell the promoter, you need to get rid of this guy. My daughter just told me some horrible stuff. And if she went to the promoter and told him that, told him or her or whoever's running the promotion that this guy is a creep, I'm really, really trying not to explode. I'm trying to be very calm, but if that would have happened if I had a kid and nothing was done about it, look out. That's all I'm going to say is look out. You don't disrespect women, period. You don't disrespect men either. I mean, that happens too, quite a lot. But men who wrestle women have always stated, and even some of the women have said they love wrestling men. Us guys would take it easy on them because we don't want to hurt them. That's not what pro wrestling's about, even though they could punch my lights out, and I wouldn't have a problem with it. But again, just saying, or if I was dating someone who's a wrestler and we got married and some guy is harassing her, I'd have a problem with that. And the promotion would have a problem with it. And if they did nothing about it, then I suggest the promoter get his ass, her ass, whoever's ass, get out. Somebody else should be put in place and you gone because you did nothing. And when women came to other men, to other wrestlers, men, and told them what's going on, and they ignored it. They didn't go to the promoter and say, she just told me this. Oh, she said the same thing. If you got 2 or 3 people who heard what she said, then you need to take it a little serious. After all of us out here outside the ring, and if I ever do get in the ring, which probably won't happen, but if I do, my goal is to make sure that she is comfortable with me. Even if I'm written to be the worst bad guy in history, and I do and I say all things that are supposedly horrible because of the storyline, she would know that that's not me in real life. But then again, fans out there would think that I'm disgusting and sexist and all this other crap. Well, I'm not. But I would say this. When a promoter fails to do their job, they should be fired. If there was a board members, even if the company's not that big, I think the wrestler should say, you're out. We need another boss who's going to do their job. I mean, honestly, when Women Pro Wrestling Revolution happened, we all thought women were going to be taken a little bit serious and be treated equal. Because, like AIW did a documentary, and I loved it, and I thought it was really great, explaining this. And all these men respect the women. But there's times when somebody alleges something, but there's not too many people coming out with it, and it turns out to be a false story or a false allegation, then you just ruin someone's life. But what that guy did, nope. Doing that to an underage female is disgusting. And more women are coming out with it. So, basically, I would say good riddance to him. And if I was someone who ran a pro wrestling business, if I was the owner, promoter, whatever, and someone came to me and had a problem, I'd listen to them. I'd bring their sorry little ass into my office. And I'm talking about whoever is messing with the women. They need to come to my office, and we're going to have a sit-down. And if I find out that the allegation's false, but still, I'm going to investigate it and go around and ask everybody else if they saw the same thing or heard the same thing. And if their stories match up with hers, or even if it's a guy, because, the thing is, if someone's accused of sexual harassment and it turns out to be false, they get fired. So you gotta be careful, too. So I'm going to be a little bit like a devil's advocate. Usually I wait for all the evidence, but when I hear more stories about the same person, that means that person deserves to be fired and never again in pro wrestling. They can go flip burgers. And yes, the age of consent for pro wrestling is 17. You have to have your parents' permission before you join. And, if I was a parent and that happened to one of my kids, I would be absolutely upset with the companies for not doing their job. Especially when it's been proven. Alright, I'm going to end this video. This is a hard topic. I mean, there's a bunch of misconduct going on, and it's just sickening because as a fan who loves these ladies, loves everybody in that ring, and doesn't want to see someone get injured, or not injured, but get treated like that, makes me sick. I love you guys. I love all of you out there in pro wrestling. You guys are amazing. You are the most amazing people on the planet, and sometimes being friends with certain ones, it's been a blessing. I'm proud of everyone, so I'm sorry for what has happened to these ladies, and even to some guys. There's some guys who are being accused, but then the evidence proves that they didn't do anything wrong, except this guy did a lot of wrong. I said he should have changed his gimmick. I mean, he pulls lollipops out of his trunks. Ew. And his one move is the Booplex. Instead of just a regular German suplex, gotta hang on to the boobs and flip them over. That's something I would never do. If I get around your belly, that's where I'm going to do it. And yes, as a guy, it is hard. But the thing is, there is innocent flirting, and then there's you cross the line. And I have innocently flirt with some women wrestlers who are same age or older than me, slightly older than me. You know, because I'm 35. So if I hit on a girl and she tells me her age is not age appropriate, I'm like, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, because that's another thing. Some ladies are taller than I am and look older, and that's what scares me the most. That's why I always will ask a question. I won't ever force myself on someone or force them to date me, because that's wrong. If I asked you out on a date and you said, well, I'm too busy, that's understandable. But when someone says no, they actually mean no. Even I would say no to certain things. There's certain things that I would not say, even if I was a heel character. I've said that before. I gotta feel what is right. If I want to get heat and just say, this lady is not worth my time or whatnot, or that's the best you can bring out here, sorry, you know, that's just my character who's not being honest, because I am entertaining fans. And that's the whole point of pro wrestling, is to entertain the fans. Like I said, I love everybody. I respect everybody. And they should always be respected, regardless of gender, regardless of their age. They should be respected. I'll see y'all in the next